Hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 150 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts designed for folk who are dedicated to and focused on getting better at being who they be. They're not distracted by getting better at doing what they do. We know that the logical outcome of getting better at being who you be gets you better at doing what you do. Hey, if you'll take just a moment and click share just below this video, and please share this video with your community. The more voices we have in the conversation, the richer it is. So, kicking off this year, and thank goodness it's a new year. So, kicking off this new year with a topic that I love. And this is an idea, a topic that made a massive difference for me in my life. You know, all too often people use just a single currency to evaluate success. Money. I used to joke that money is the way we keep score in business. And that may show up as deals closed or projects won or net worth or savings amassed, even money spent. And no matter how people choose to label it, they're still using money as the metric for their success. And speaking from painful experience, when any of us choose to measure or rely upon money solely as that measure of our success, it devalues all the other currencies that are actually important. And the code I want to play with today is from Ryan Holiday, and I think it absolutely captures that beautifully. It's people who claim to want something that matters, yet they measure themselves against things that don't matter. I can play with that. People claim to want to do something that matters, yet they measure against things that don't. Look, here's an example. Time and attention are two currencies that are far more valuable than money. But there are many more. Learning, growth, community, self-care, connection, being at home to put the kids to bed at night, family dinner, you name it. My portfolio of currencies is wildly diverse and it's completely unique and tailored to me. And yours is going to be completely tailored and custom and unique to you. When we only measure our success by how much money we have rather than the impact we make or the time spent with our family or experiences shared or the freedom and flexibility we create for ourselves, when we do that, we're missing the point. Thoreau told us the price of anything is the amount of life that I have to exchange for it. God, that gives a whole new way to measure success. That gives a whole new way to measure what's important, to work with what matters. And I know this gets preachy. This is a huge one for me, right? Money may be a physical means of exchange upon which our economy is built, yet our emotional and spiritual exchanges, those currencies, ones you can't touch, they're critical for building a balanced portfolio for a truly successful life. What would your financial advisor say if you decided to keep all of your wealth in one security, one fund, one stock? She'd go bananas. She'd think you were insane. Financially, you want a balanced portfolio. You want a variety of different things in your financial portfolio, just the same as your success portfolio. The currencies that you have. Your goal is to balance those. Money is just a fungible asset we use to fund and feed those currencies and enable us to be with those currencies. How much more could you accomplish if you were deliberate about how you manage all the different types of currencies? What might shift if you were intentional about how you spend time, energy, emotion, and attention as concerned you are about cash flow? People claim to want to do something that matters, impact, yet they measure themselves against things that don't. Where are you measuring yourself against things that don't matter? Like this, people measure success through money are missing a lot in life. Yes, looking at it as our balanced human portfolio or a portfolio of our life. Absolutely, Carolina. It's amazing how often and how much of my time I spent paying attention to what the company had in the bank, what we had in the bank. I checked my net worth and checked my cash flow to determine how successful I was. I'm two generations away from people who survived either the Depression or the Holocaust or both. And in both of those situations, it didn't matter how many zeros you had in the bank. The next morning, if you woke up, you had zero, just 1 0 in the bank, if there was a bank. Those are folk who learned very quickly what was important, what was deeply and truly important, not functionally important. Didn't matter how many zeros they had in the bank. The next day, if they woke up, they had zero in the bank. When I started to think about that and I started to really be with that scenario, what became clear for me is that knowing how to make money, and more importantly, knowing that I know how to make money, knowing that I know how to gain the fungible assets I need to feed myself and to fund the currencies that are truly important, the time with my family, making an impact, being present with and for others, knowing my currencies and knowing that I know how to make money, that is success right there because I'm focused on what's important. There is a freedom and a power in knowing that you know how to make money because it doesn't matter what happens. I know that I'll figure it out. It's going to be fun? Not necessarily. But do I know that I can figure it out and I can survive and I can make it happen? Absolutely. That's more financial success than any number of zeros in the bank. Think it's called Parkinson's law. The idea that the more money you make, the more likely you are to spend more, in fact, to spend more to exceed your income. I have a friend named Karen up in Canada who built her entire practice. She's a money coach, working with people who are making $350,000 a year or above and living paycheck to paycheck. Doesn't matter how much you make, it doesn't make you happy. The 75-year longitudinal study done at Harvard talks about the individual earning above about $70,000. There's no statistically significant increase in happiness beyond that level. In fact, often it goes down. All the data tells us it's nothing about income and amassing money that makes a difference in happiness. It's a book sitting on my shelf that I read years ago called Younger Next Year. Guy made 3 points. First two, eat less, move more. Second one, stop eating crap right now. But the third one is the most important. The third one speaks to currencies. Be in connection. It's more important to our long-term health and survival than anything else. We're not solitary creatures. One of the hardest things for folks over this last year has been being out of connection. Knowing what your currencies are is incredible and incredibly powerful and freeing. And here's a powerful way to begin to find it. Yeah, thank you. Here's to George Bailey, the richest man in town. And how perfect that movie has just been streaming nonstop for the last 45 days. Pay attention to your values. Your values are a good clue as to what your currencies are. Pay attention to how you fill your free time. Other than other than by the tyranny of the flat glass. Pay attention to how you fill your time. Pay attention to your non-negotiables. Know what your currencies are. If it's important that you're doing something that matters, then measure something that matters. Focus on the things that are important. It's astounding. I learned a long time ago with Digital Positions, a web company. When you focus on the dollars, the client don't pay any attention. When you focus on the clients, the dollars always follow. Always, always. That was my first lesson. Not that I connected the dots back then. That was my first lesson in this idea, in the idea of knowing your currencies. Your clients get it. So here's your opportunity at the very beginning of the year. Your opportunity is to be still and spend time journaling and figuring out what your currencies are. Identify them. Ask the 5 people closest to you what they think are the most important to you. Get a reflection back of how your values are being lived in your world and how people are experiencing you and what your behavior tells them is important to you. Gut check it. Uncover what your currencies are. The clearer you are, the better you can manage your time, the better you can manage your attention and your energy. Time, energy, and attention are critical. And yeah, Cameron, I like that distinction. Money comes in pretty handy around here. Yes, comes in handy for what? Money is an agreed upon fiction, right? Read *Sapiens* by Yuval Harari. Money, like nation states and companies, are just agreed upon fictions. We attach money, we attach value to flimsy pieces of paper. And we have all agreed upon that fiction, fine. But there is no intrinsic value in money, in currency. I mean, in hard cash. There's no value except the value we imbue upon it. The things that have intrinsic value are those internal currencies. Play with those. Start with time, energy, and attention. Start with the 3 most basic currencies. Check in, see if they're truly currencies for you. But spend time. I invite you to, if not, I challenge you to get real with these things. There's not a right answer. Your currencies are your currencies. Investigate them. Journal about them. And share what you're coming up with. Come to facebook.com/group/Mindset Mondays. Come into the private Mindset Mondays community and share what you're uncovering about your currencies. Your experiences will help other folks unearth theirs, and their experiences may help you unearth yours. Clearer you are, easier decision making becomes. You can also come to Mindset Mondays with DTK.com. This broadcast series turned into a book, which was released back in September. I would love you to buy the book, download the Rewire framework that teaches you how to use anything you're learning and make it real and take it out into your world. And I'd love your feedback. Between now and next week, same question, what mindset would you choose?